Oh, wait, people can hear us.
Huh?
Huh?
Eh?
Huh?
Showtime.
Simpson, eh?
People can hear us. Nope. Huh? I'll go get that beer.
Oh, yeah, I could have did that. Share on your timeline. All right. I need to stay up with the commenters, but I'm not very good at that. How do you do that?
Oh, shoot.
Mute that. Do we have sound here?
How to stay live here?
I think they do. It says you joined.
Okay.
Man, we're a mess. Hey, you have sound? Sound? How do I sound?
Hey, you sound great.
You sound good, pretty good too.
Thank you.
All right, I guess we should start this show.
Oh, was I supposed to do that? Oh, you got it set up over there.
I can do it. It's fine. Video, no text. Hey, that's us. Let's begin. Oh wait, do I have the volume up? We'll see. Whoa! Let's take two. I had the thing upside down here. Oh, let's try it again. Hello and welcome to another episode of Stuck in Beta. I'm Greg. That's Josh.
Hey, I'm Josh.
Hey.
The only Josh.
Yeah, apparently.
The only one that matters.
I don't know where, well, I kind of know. I think the other Josh is away, I don't know, it is.
Stuck at the lake.
Summer.
He's on vacation.
Home.
Yeah.
Condo.
He's been away for a while.
Yeah.
He thought he was going to join us via phone, but then...
He's a liar. That's all I got to say.
So he said that
Big liar.
If his dad gets his new boat, he won't be able to join us. But then he just said, well, I'm not available. No explanation, though.
He's in the bathroom.
I don't know. Well, that could be.
Hey, you just got back from Colorado, and I see you have a big old can of something.
I do. So last time we talked to Greg, we didn't have a show last week, and the week before that, I was in Colorado, and we had that really fun from the parking lot of Safeway interview type short little episode. And I didn't talk about this brewery at the time, but because we went there later in the week. But right down the street, like literally 100 yards from our house, was this little place. It was called Rock Cut Brewing Company, and just by the looks of the outside of it, like it didn't appear to be like anything special. Like it was just like in the part of a strip mall type thing, and we didn't really think a whole lot of it. But anyway, my wife and I later in the week got a chance to get out, and we were actually going to Safeway again. And
so you love that place, huh?
We kept running out of milk, I think. But this little brewery was right down the street, and man, it was so cool. We went in, and it was just basically like a tap room, but they had their brewing operations in the back, and then they had food trucks on the outside of it, and they had the one end of the building had like a patio.
Oh, nice.
So oh boy, kind of splashed out at me. So we had we sampled a couple beers, and what they did, they kind of specialized in the barrel aged stuff. Try to talk and pour this at the same time.
Banging the mic around.
Sorry about that. I know it's bad radio. So this here that I have is It's a Tyndall porter. It's an English porter, and I had this while I was there. And what they do is they can their beer. Some of it, whenever they brew it, has the canning date of 6/2/17, so it's really fresh.
Wow.
And they can them in these 32-ounce cans.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, which I had never seen before, really, unless it was like a Foster's or something.
You know what? Wouldn't that be considered a holler? Because a growler is 64 ounce. Whoa, you're spilling all over.
I'm making a mess.
Yeah, you are.
So I don't know. This guy at my work told me that he thought it was called a crowler.
Crowler, that's right. I'm sorry. Holler, crowler.
So there's plenty of it. I was hoping to share it with both of my stuck in beta friends, but the
we'll just pour one out and leave it here, and when he's here next, he can
sample it.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know exactly. I was trying to find some information on this beer specifically.
So is this one barrel aged?
I think it is, but let me see here. I got the website pulled up here, and they have Tyndall Porter is a darker beer, but with very low bitterness. Even non-fans of darker beers might like this one. So, yeah, that was the reason why we like this one, my wife and I, because she's not really too big on the dark beers, and when we tried this one, she really liked it. And there wasn't a whole lot of. It was really cool because a lot of people came in and they would have a pint or whatever, and they also had the half pints.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. A lot of places are having those now, but they haven't always been around. But people were then just going over to they had like a fridge, and you could just open it and take your beer with you. So,
cool.
There wasn't a whole lot of beer left in there. So how is it?
This is really good. This is a good beer. It seems really fresh, like you said. Yeah. It seems pretty much like it's right out of the tap.
It was a really cool little spot that they had this brewery. So I don't remember if I told you when we talked last time that we went on the tram, which was right outside of our window in the house that we stayed in. We could see this tram that kept going up and down the mountain that was right out of our window. We stayed in Estes Park. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but right at the base of that tram, just below that was where this brewery was. So it was a really cool setting. Had the mountains in the back of it and everything. Just a beautiful location. Just really, really, a really, really neat atmosphere out there. I would highly recommend it. A couple of the guys that we talked to were really nice, and both of them that worked at the brewery there were transplants. One guy had moved there from New York, and the other guy from Iowa.
Were they both like brewers, or they came from brewery backgrounds? Or?
Well, one guy was just a bartender, and the other guy was kind of like a brewer's assistant. He was kind of explaining to me. So he wasn't actually the guy coming up with, the beers. He was just the kind of the assistant. But he said that he was trying to work his way up to. They were young guys. I mean, they were probably in their 20s, and
well, that's cool.
They were really nice. It was neat. It was a neat experience. And then on top of that, I brought you guys a couple of gifts from another brewery that I visited out there. Estes Park Brewery. So, Estes Park Brewery, we went to, I think it was on the first or second night that we were there, and they were more of like, they were a little more old school, I would say. I think they were more of a restaurant, and they just happened to brew beer also. The interesting thing about them, though, is you could go, they had 2 levels, and downstairs, they advertised this all over the place, so there was like billboards and stuff, come have some free beer. And they would give you a sample.
Samples, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, basically a sample of every beer that they had on tap. Well, I think they said 6, but I don't know. They had 8 or 10 beers on tap, and they would give you a sample of anything that you wanted. And it was like a 4-ounce sample, and it wasn't just like a little shot. I mean, it was. So we stood down there at there was a little bar and just chatted with the bartender who was from St. Louis.
Oh.
But had moved out there. Everybody we ran into out there, nobody was born in Colorado or Estes Park. But anyway, that was kind of neat. And then they had a bunch of different varieties. I brought about 6 of them home, and maybe I'll have another one that we can try on. And they had like blueberry, and they had a bunch of different ales.
Right.
I wouldn't say they were anything like this. Rock Cut was more, I don't know how you would describe it, a little more higher end, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Whereas Estes Park Brewery was a little more.
We should point our pinkies to the sky when we take a sip of this.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds fun.
The other thing that I wanted to throw out was that day we had that call a couple weeks ago for the last show. Lori and I had just came from this little. You ever see those storage containers that they convert into other things? You know what I'm talking about? Like the big storage containers that you would see on ships.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There's kind of this trend going now.
There's a band that uses one as like a studio space.
Okay. I've seen
Pennywise.
I've seen them used as like outdoor like workshops, and there's like even like a trend of turning them into tiny houses and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, there was this little
too small for me.
There was this little outdoor bar right in the center of downtown, or Main Street, I guess, in Estes Park, and they had 2 garage door type doors on the long side of this storage container, and they rolled up, and then inside was all of these. It was a big long bar, and then they just had taps along the entire. And I think the lady told me they had like 46 taps.
Wow, how did they refrigerate? I mean,
on the back side of the storage container, they just had like a big cooler.
Oh, okay.
Going pretty much the length of the storage unit.
So you got to go on the outside of it to
change it.
Change the
But it was like all open to the it was open to the outside, and you just sat at the bar, or there was like some tables outside. But I don't know, it was pretty cool. Like I'd never seen anything like that, and I can't remember what the place was called, but
there's a place in downtown. Man, it's like small brewery, St. Louis or something. It's really, really small. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. It's kind of a just walk in, there it is, and there's nothing. There's like 10 seats in the whole place.
Oh, okay. I thought it was pretty cool because they had breweries from all over the place. I mean, they tried to get as many like Colorado beers as they could, but they had things from Kansas City. They had beers from all over the place, and that was pretty cool. I've never seen anything quite like that. So it was a neat idea.
Well, that's cool. Well, I was on a little trip this weekend too. We went to a wedding in Kansas City. Well, it was actually Kansas, but
Friday night.
Kansas City area. Yeah, Friday night. And that was really nice. But, of course, while we're out of town, we always all we talk about is beer on this show, don't we?
Oh, yeah, it's kind of the theme.
Yeah, it's kind of the theme. Yeah, we went to a little pizza place. Actually, we were going to go there at the night of the wedding, but we were kind of dressed kind of nicer, and it looked a little rougher at night, but during the day it really wasn't that rough. And they had really, really good pizza there. Brick-fired pizza. Martin City Brewery is the name of it.
Okay.
And they had this beer. We'll have to try it maybe on another show or maybe during this show.
Hey.
They had this called Purple Train. And I've never seen a beer that was this color. I mean, it was literally purple, the beer. And it's really low amount of alcohol in it. It's like 3.7 or so. So it's pretty low. So it's really drinkable. It's like the perfect summer time brew. So I brought home a 6-pack of that.
So they had it on tap, and then
they had it on tap, and I brought home some. But yeah, we were gonna go to a few places, but we were only there for one day.
Yeah, where in Kansas City was that?
The Martin City.
Yeah.
Martin City.
Oh, really? Okay.
Martin's. It was like right on the Kansas Missouri border.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
so it wasn't downtown. I guess it was
Right.
north or south of Kansas City, or
directions.
geography.
Those are hard for me.
Okay. Sorry.
But we went to a wedding. Wedding was really nice. It was different. There was no alcohol. They actually had a instead of a normal a champagne toast.
Yeah.
They had a toast with chocolate milk.
Huh.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
So who was this whose wedding was?
It was Molly's cousin.
Okay.
So,
no alcohol, huh?
yeah, but I mean,
I mean, to each his own. But it's interesting that you're.
I'm the complete opposite. Yeah.
Focused around the alcohol.
I'm a heathen.
Yours was like, okay, we're going.
We start with the beer.
We have to find a brewery where we can have the reception. We have to make sure that there's beer available on the bus.
You work from your. I worked from the center out.
Right.
And they went probably from the. Yeah.
They were focused on the wedding.
Yeah.
You were focused on the reception.
Yeah. I guess that's what it comes down to. But
that's funny.
On our way back, I'm sure you've seen this 100 times going to Branson or any Kansas City, Springfield, anywhere. You see them signs for Ozark Land. Have you seen those?
Yeah.
I've never stopped. I never have.
Yeah, I have.
Because I'm like, this looks so hoosh.
It is, yeah.
I'm not. Well, anyway, we stopped, and it's exactly what I thought it would be.
Yep.
Just a bunch of crap,
right?
And then they have some fudge. That's really what it is. There's a bunch of like figurines of birds and stuff, and then like, hey, welcome to Missouri type.
Yep.
I was.
Didn't they used to have? And this may be down south, but they have like Boomland. I think it is. BOOM.
Boomland.
Yeah.
A fireworks place?
No, I think it's like that. Same kind of deal, like just junk.
Yeah.
Novelty. I don't know. Crap.
Yeah, there was nothing that I was like, I gotta have that. I thought, okay, maybe we stop here, we'll find something really funny to get or something, ridiculous. Well, no, of course not.
No luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, that was...
You found these... I thought that was a funny story that you should share about these.
So we...
Are you going to... you might have to use your bleep button when you...
So we went to... While we were in Kansas or whatever, before we went home, I'm like, I'd like to snack on something on the way. We stopped at a gas station, like, wanted something like beef jerky or... It just sounded good at the time. What are you spilling some more over there?
No, I tapped my mic again.
Oh. So, we're looking at the jerky, sale. Hey, Jack Links. $6 a bag. Hey, sounded like a good deal or whatever. Well, we saw this other stuff. Well, actually, before we even looked at this other stuff, this guy, I mean, he's in, pretty... He looked like he had been working pretty hard. And he had a 12-pack of Bush or Bush Light, one of the two. He comes up to me, he goes, man, you want to spend the extra money, you ought to buy this MF. I'm trying to clean it up. It's beef jerky right here. This is effing good, And we're like, oh, thanks. He goes, I make my own, he I make my own at home, and I can't make it as good as that, so I don't even try anymore. There's this old Trapper beef jerky. That's the way to go. And it was about double the price, but it is good jerky.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
He knows his jerky. He was polite.
Yeah.
He said,
well, yeah.
But his grammatical skills are
lacking. But I should have said, like I was telling you earlier, I should have said, well, let me give you a little hint here. That beer you got, I know it's cheap, but if you want to spend a little bit more and get something a little bit better, I wasn't going to do that though.
That's funny.
I was afraid once I walk out. Did you get jerky?
Yeah.
So it was good stuff. And then on the way home, Molly's like, "Hey, why don't we stop by Petland?" I'm like, "What is Petland?" So there's this place. Oh, Molly,
she's listening now. By the way,
where is that at? Was it Chesterfield? Anyway,
I've heard of that.
Okay, so they have a lot of what do you call that? The dogs from the
I don't know.
Dogs you don't want to get.
Oh, like stray
puppy mills, puppy mill dogs. Okay. Well, anyway, you can go there and just say, "Hey, I want to play with a puppy," and they'll put you in like this cubicle thing and let you play with a puppy.
Huh.
So, yeah, I know. Hey, it'd be a good date idea if you're ever, it's pretty cheap because we couldn't afford the puppy, and I can't afford another dog.
So, do you
Lake St. Louis?
You purchase the dogs?
Yeah, you could.
How much are they?
So we were playing with this French bulldog, and it was a fun little dog. It loved to play and all that. And then Molly's like, "Well, how much is he by chance? Let me just ask you." And then he goes, "Well, let me go look at the papers. I'll be right back."
Yeah.
He comes back. That one there is $4,500.
What?
Like,
oh my god!
I know. I'm like, holy crap!
Oh my god!
That's a really good used.
$4,500.
That's a really good used car.
Holy crap!
A lot of people finance. We have finance options. I'm like, no.
Oh my god! I had no idea that dogs would even cost that much.
And the thing is, you can find. I mean, that they got to make their profit, I guess. I don't know how much they pay the puppy mills and all that, which, you hear the treatments of dogs at puppy mills is horrible. I don't know how well they're treated at Petland, but $4,500.
So
and
what was their inventory? How many dogs?
They had a lot. They had a lot of dogs. I mean, bulldogs are usually. I mean, even if you buy from a breeder, it's. Well, I know long ago I was looking for an English bulldog, $600 to $1,000, which that was a little too rich for me then, but $4,500 for a French bulldog. So
man, I had no idea that dogs were that expensive. In any breed. Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And it doesn't come with a lifetime supply of food or anything,
or a guarantee.
Yeah, a guarantee. I think they're neutered and they have they come with shots and stuff like that. But I mean, that doesn't cost that much,
I have only been. I mean, my current dog that we have. I shouldn't say current dog. Our family pet, our dog that we have.
Our current dog.
Things can change, Our dog, Yoshi, we got from my wife's grandparents, her grandparents' next door neighbor. And I think they just happened to have a beagle and a basset hound who got together, and they had these beagle basset puppies. And they were, so cute. And I gave the guy $50 for it,
Yeah.
Outside of that, though, the only other time that I can recall that I paid for a dog was that little
Jackson?
No. That every other dog I've gotten was either through adoption or there was that little puppy that I got.
Oh, he was he was so tiny.
Gosh, I can't remember what the breed was. It was a small.
He was named after one of the Wiggles.
Was he? Yeah, that sounds right. I forget what the breed was, but I think we paid like $150 for it or something. I don't know. Man, it might have been more than that.
That thing was tiny.
It was tiny, and it was the runt. And we were stupid and thought, oh, well, we'll get the runt. He's a little guy. Look, he's over there by himself and all that. And felt sorry for him. And he ended up having seizures like a week after I think it was $250. And he ended up having seizures like a week later. We took him to a 24-hour pet doctor, and then it was so bad that he basically was ready to die, and we had to put him down, and it was like $750. It was $1,000, and we had him for a week. It's crazy that it wouldn't even. I mean, I don't know. Obviously, no pet can come with a guarantee, but that's the only other instance that I've been a part of.
Yeah,
something you pay for.
Yeah,
that's a sad story.
Yeah, thanks for bringing down the show. That's pretty sad there.
Anyway, I got a new phone.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow, and it's not like I don't understand. Wait a minute. I didn't lose a phone and I didn't break one and
it's different.
I didn't get a new one. Yeah. So how did you acquire a new phone?
So for a while I've been a Sprint customer for at least 10 years. And I was wanting to get a new phone, but everything, so I had that Moto X that was yours. That was 3 phones ago for you.
Yeah. And about 2 other phones that were mine.
It was still working fine, but I was on a short-lived promotional period through Sprint called the Framley plan. F-R-A-A-M.
Framley.
Family
with an R.
Yeah. And anyway, I was paying $25 a month, and some of those friends and family were wanting to get out of that plan. So each member that would drop off, everybody else's rate would raise up $5 per month, and mine was $25. So if 2 people dropped off, I'd be paying $35.
Right.
So I was like, okay, we're gonna cut the entire program, and we all have gone our separate ways. So I went to Republic Wireless, and I bought
Republic Wireless.
What'd I say?
Public.
I did not. Republic Wireless.
I thought you said Public Wireless.
Republic.
That's Ricola.
Republic Wireless.
Ricola Wireless.
And I got
a new cell phone.
It's a Moto G4 Play. It was $150, and it does everything I needed to do.
There you go.
Lori and I both got one.
Does it answer? Can you answer phone?
Yeah. I haven't had any problems with it. I've had it for a few days now. Works well. So I need to return my Moto X to you.
Oh, thank you.
You just got to wipe it, get all that.
Oh, get all your nasty stuff off there. Yeah, I understand.
So the one funny story I had associated with this whole process was, so I didn't really know how to go about canceling a phone line, but I knew I wanted to keep my phone number.
Oh, you just let the new company do it.
Yeah, I figured that out. But I first went to Sprint, and I went to I was looking for...
Bad idea.
Yeah, well, I went...
Oh, we want to keep you.
I went online thinking maybe I can find the answer. Well, I couldn't find the answer, so then I went to the chat message, because I didn't want to call them. I didn't want to deal with anybody. So I pulled up a chat message. So I sent... I get her name was Scarlett, which is she's probably in another country. And I say, I would like to cancel 2 of my lines. How do I do that? And she comes back, oh, sure, of course, I'll help you with that. And so back and forth, and she keeps asking me questions, like, why do you want to change? I said, I want to go to Republic Wireless.
Why you want change?
Why do you want to go to Republic? I'm like, I just want to transfer. And so finally, after, it was about 15 minutes of, how agents typing, and it would just be blah, blah, blah. And then,
let me see if we get you a better rate.
Yeah. So it kept going back and forth, and then finally she says, well, in order to cancel your service, you'll need to call this number. I'm like, oh my God. So I wasted 15 minutes chatting with this person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did you waste... I was fed up. I was like, why did you just waste my time? And her response was, well, I was trying to understand why you were changing. Maybe we could save you some money. I'm like, I wasn't asking you to save me any money. I didn't ask you to look into my bill or my statement or anything. I was wondering if I can cancel online. It was a simple yes or no answer. And she was like, oh, I apologize, blah, blah, blah.
See, yeah, and the reason... That's because I understand they want to keep you as a customer, but the reason you don't want to go, hey, cancel my number through that, because once they cancel, your number is out there available to get.
Right.
Yeah. So you need to,
yeah. So I figured it out. Luckily, she didn't help me, or she didn't cancel
Luckily,
it.
she was not helpful at all.
Yeah, so I was like, and I took the survey and I rated her horrible, because I was like, you could have at least just said yes or no.
She's probably fired.
I was aggravated. It was one of those situations. Normally, I don't get that way. That's usually reserved for you.
That's what I do.
Yeah. And so I just then I went through the process, and it was all on my phone. It was so simple setup, and it was like, do you have a number you want to transfer? Yes. Put in your number. They contact your current carrier, and then it's approved, and you get a notification back, and then it's set up. It was,
and you'll probably get stuff in the mail that say, "Hey, join Sprint. We saw you canceled," and but
yeah, so far so good. I mean, it's a good. My boys have all been on Republic Wireless for many years, and I can't think of any issues really. I know you say that your parents have some issues with theirs.
Every time I talk, sometimes I try calling them, and it does not. I can't get it. Will just go directly to the Republic Wireless customer that you're calling. That cannot be reached. It will not ring them sometimes. I mean,
I've noticed your parents have a pretty old phone, and it's funny because whenever we were going through the process of adding data to our boys' lines, my Eli, my middle son, has an old phone, and I've been trying to encourage him to save up some money to get a new phone. But this phone, I don't remember. It's a Moto G.
It's the Moto A.
Yeah, it's pretty basic, and it won't even let us choose all of the same options for as far as data usage. It's got its own plan that it will only accept. So I think your dad has that phone because I saw
probably,
and it was a super cheap phone.
There's nothing. The thing is, if you look at my dad's phone, it looks in pristine condition. Yeah. It looks like no one's ever used the phone.
Yeah,
because he does. He has learned texting, and I taught him how to use Netflix to the Chromecast. But then again, he's got Netflix built in his TV now, so I don't think he even does that.
And that's kind of my whole thing. This phone, it's the cheapest phone you can get through Republic, and the functionality is very, very similar to that Moto X that was probably 5 years old. 5 years.
5 years old. I'm 5 years old. Well, hey.
Anyway,
we have a snack.
Woo!
Cashews, almonds, macadamia nuts, lilac, pecans too. Pistachio, lives up to know the tricks. Bliss peanut politics.
So we really didn't have a snack ready for this show.
What?
So I snuck up and stole Molly's firework Oreos.
You're in trouble now.
I know. So these are Oreos that have popping candy in it. So let's just call it what it is. It's got Pop Rocks in the cream filling. So when you eat these, they will pop like Pop Rocks.
Do they actually say Pop Rocks?
No, it says popping candy.
Oh. You just closed that so I couldn't have one. He's trying to keep them from me, Molly.
I wanted to keep them fresh.
Oh, okay. There you go.
So,
right. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
You've had them though, probably already.
Yes. It's not popping.
Are they stale?
Oh wait. Now I feel it.
Yeah, a little bit. It's subtle.
It's subtle. It tastes like an Oreo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty subtle. I noticed you eat your Oreo in 2 bites, so I chose to eat my Oreo in 2 bites. But as an adult, I've Ooh, it's popping now. Huh. But as an adult, I've always eaten my Oreos in 1 bite.
Really?
Yeah.
I was not aware of that.
Some people take the top.
Yeah, I don't do the twisting thing. I don't. Hey, can you hear it?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
I hear it, but I don't know if
It's only after you have. Well, it's like in your mouth still. I've swallowed everything, but it's like still in my mouth popping.
Yeah, it's like stuck in your teeth.
That's bizarre. Huh.
Well, anyway, these
Yeah, that's weird, man.
firework Oreos are good for your next patriotic celebration, I guess.
Yeah, there's this was actually one that is kind of cool because it's different, but it tastes the same.
Yeah,
So
it tastes the same.
You're not thrown off by something gross.
Right, there's no Swedish fish in the middle.
Yeah, that was gross.
Do you remember Kool-Aid? They made like this 4th of July promotion with crackling cherry, firecracker cherry Kool-Aid.
Huh.
And well, what it was, you know, when you made your Kool-Aid, you poured the stuff in the water, and when you mix, it would pop, 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 make the popping noises.
Oh, yeah?
So it was basically you're mixing with some sort of pop rocks, kind of the same idea. But the problem with that is you only, you know, how many kids actually are the ones making the Kool-Aid?
Right.
Usually they'd be the ones drinking. Just
It was
drinking
only
out.
as you were mixing it.
Yeah, because the popping would go away after that.
Yeah.
So, fun story.
Oh, that was cool.
So, yeah, get some firework Oreos.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know there's a new movie from DC Comics? I don't know if you've heard of DC Comics.
Slower, please.
Yeah. They make the Batman movies, Superman movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, I'm not that nerdy. I'm not into that.
There's a Wonder Woman movie out now,
That's DC, huh?
and I have to say, it's probably this new iteration since Man of Steel. They've had like 3 DC movies: Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Suicide Squad. This is the best, and it's good. It's not saying like this is the best out of these crap. No, this is the best, and it's really good. It's a good movie.
So you thought the other movies... Now, you didn't like Suicide Squad that much.
I liked Suicide Squad. The other Man of Steel was kind of... It's like, why are they treating Superman like that? I didn't like that so much. Batman vs Superman was just kind of all over the...
It was so long. It was like 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really long. And they're trying to be real dark with movies. You don't need to be. This brought some light to the DC universe. Diana of Theramascira, which is this island that she's from, is she's brought into the real world, and I mean she doesn't know about anything, so it's like almost like a kid coming into a new world or whatever. So it was kind of really fun filled. Like, you see in this person who's only good, like that's all she knows is good. There's no like evil bone in her,
right. So she was naive a little bit too.
A little bit about things, like she didn't realize her outfit was kind of inappropriate for the 1930. Well, let's see, it was World War I is where this takes place.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh, I didn't know that.
So that was cool too because it was a period piece.
Okay.
So it starts out where she looks back to when she's like, she looks at a picture and she looks back to basically her origin story.
Oh, really? So how old is she? Like, does it get to like a present state or like present in the movie, or is she?
In the movie, like, because it starts in present day, and it shows her looking back to when she first came to. Once you leave this island, you can no longer return. So it's ever since she left, but it shows her on the island as a little girl growing up, learning, and being trained 10 times as hard as any other warrior on this. But it's an island full of women, so
It's on Earth.
Yes, but it's kind of like this magical. You don't see it. They did it really well in the movie, I thought, but it is a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. Molly enjoyed it. Definitely a must see. I really hope they take what they've learned from this movie and apply it to any future DC movies. That hey, this was really well received. Let's kind of build off this and start, because I think the next movie is Justice League, which is going to have all the Batman, Superman. Well, who knows? Batman, the Flash, Wonder Woman. All the.
So how do you have Wonder Woman in a current day movie though? If she was from the 1930s.
Well, they don't really say about her aging process. Maybe possibly she doesn't age, I guess. I don't know. They really don't go into that.
Okay.
But yeah, she's still. I mean, obviously, she looks the same as she does present day.
Okay. She was frozen.
I don't know. She looks good though.
I heard that. What is his name? Chris Everett.
Pine.
Chris Pine? No, Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Evans. So he's like not under contract any longer to do those movies.
Marvel, yeah.
Yeah, Marvel movies, and
well, he wants to get out of acting.
Really?
Yeah, he wants to get behind the camera and do more directing.
Huh.
He's going to sign for the next two. He's out of contract. He's going to sign up for the next two Avengers movies because they kind of need him. So I'm sure he's getting a pretty good payday, But then apparently he's done after that.
I can't keep up with it. So what's coming out this summer? So
we got Spider-Man in a couple weeks.
Spider-Man, that's right. Yeah, we want to go see that.
And it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then
anything else? Was it the Hulk and the Buddy movie, or did that?
Thor? Yeah, that comes out. I think that's November. Yeah. And Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I haven't seen that either. Yeah,
that was good.
But of course, I couldn't make it through the first one. Lori and I keep talking about.
I know. I don't know why. I love that movie.
So what's that? Is that Marvel also?
That's Marvel also.
Huh. So there's not much DC stuff, huh?
No, DC's kind of getting their feet wet now. Well, they saw how successful Marvel was, and they're trying to go about it a lot quicker. Instead of Marvel kind of built up like, okay, we'll have a Iron Man movie, a Hulk movie, a Captain America movie, do all these solo movies, then eventually do an Avengers.
Yeah.
They're like 3 movies and they're ready to do the Justice League,
Yeah, it's interesting that pretty much Batman and Superman are the two most
popular characters in comic book history. Yeah.
Huh.
But they haven't done the whole Dark Knight series, the Christopher Nolan series that they did with Christian Bale as Batman. That's Batman.
It was standalone. Just like the older Batman movies were.
Yeah, exactly. So, while we're nerding out, that's all we do.
Beer and nerding out, yeah.
Beer and nerding. Man, this is popping. I hope people don't hear that.
Pop rocks, man. Or your popping candy.
Are you hearing the pop?
No,
pop.
It's your Oreos are still stuck in.
I guess so.
Stuck in your teeth.
Hey, E3 is going on, or I can't remember if it wrapped up or not. But that's where the little video game entertainment expo something EEE. There's like 3 E's. Nintendo, Xbox, PS4, PlayStation. They all gave their little spiels of what's coming out. Nintendo, I told you we got the Switch.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I have to go check it out after this.
And they have, man, I was really, because right now they have about 10 games. It's
Really?
not that many.
Huh.
Well, they have some digital games, but I got Mario Kart and Zelda. But they have a new Mario game that looks really awesome. He's like got this hat that he could throw. So like if a Goomba or whatever is coming near him, he could throw it at the Goomba and he becomes that character.
Huh.
So like even like a one of the Bullet Bill? Isn't that what it was?
The flying bullets.
Yeah, if they shoot out, he could throw it at that and become that and start moving around. It's a pretty neat idea.
So what games do you have again? Currently?
I have Mario Kart,
Mario Kart.
and the new Zelda.
Huh.
But
I gotta see that Zelda. I'm sure that's pretty.
it's pretty neat, but it's also one of those you gotta spend like hours playing the game, you know?
Yeah. Is Mario Kart? Do you have? So is this thing like 2-player or?
Oh yeah, 4-player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Nintendo announced a new Kirby game, Yoshi game, Mario Odyssey, which we already knew, Metroid Prime 4, and Sonic, which that gets me excited because those are all games that
Like all old games.
old games,
Yeah.
the old characters, all those like Xbox released a new console, which is really the same, just a 4K version with get this Josh,
Get this.
a 6 teraflop of
Oh, you screwed it up.
I screwed it up. A 6 teraflop GPU and 12 gigs of GDDR5 RAM.
I actually read this the other day and I was like, "What the hell's a teraflop?"
It's a flop of terra. Be terrified.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what that represents. Is it the? So I know
It
like,
means
tera-
it's pretty fast.
So it's the speed. It's not the. It's the RAM, I guess.
So a teraflop. Why you gotta put me on the spot like
Well, because
that?
whenever exactly. You're like, ooh, dude, it's got 6 teraflop GPU.
It- A unit of computing speed equal to 1 million million. So 1 million, 10 to the 12th power.
Huh. I don't know.
Floating point operations per second.
Okay, to put that into context, what did the old Nintendo have?
I don't know. It is 6.
I mean, I shouldn't say old Nintendo,
It
but
had 6.
it had 6 teraflops.
No,
6 flop.
6 flops. Anyway, the thing is, it's the most powerful console out there now, but it's priced $100 more than the PS4 Pro, which is PlayStation's 4K version. Yeah. So probably, and that's what happened when Xbox One came out and PS4 came out. Xbox One was $100 more, and PS4 got a lot more people to buy it because it was cheaper. So I bet there's going to be the same thing happening with this.
So whatever happened with that? What was it called? The Nintendo, the old school.
The classic?
That thing that was supposed to come out like around Christmas. Remember, it was really hard to find.
Well,
What
I'm
was
glad
that called?
you asked about it.
Oh,
The Nintendo, the NES Classic.
Is that what it was called? Okay.
So it looked like a little Nintendo. They stopped production on it. That's the problem. It was so popular, which they could sell. They can make tons of those, tons of those. But Nintendo's weird. They're like, all right, we're done. No more.
Yeah.
So they're not making any more, but the rumor is they're going to make a Super Nintendo version of it. Which,
Supply and demand.
the thing is, that one's going to be just as hard to find, you know?
Yeah. Let's see how much those are going for.
Because I think they were $50 or $60 at launch. Yeah, I'd check on eBay and see how much.
At least 100. There's some of them here going for $300.
Yeah, come on. I mean, that's a lot. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. I might not be looking at the right thing, but
No, you are. It looks like you're looking at the right thing. NES Classic, yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
So, what else was I going to say? PS4 just had game announcements. They have this new Spider-Man game, which looks freaking amazing. There's, you like hang out, you can hang out on the rooftops watching these thugs. You come down and like stealthily take one out and go back up. It really reminds me of this, the Arkham, Batman games, which I don't know if you ever played. I have like 3 of those. They're pretty fun. But it looks almost identical, except Spider-Man. So
That's cool. I think we need to go play some of your
we'll
Switch.
We'll have to play some. What else do we have? I was gonna bring up. So I had this idea of doing like when we run out of stuff to say, stuff to
That never happens.
do on the show, which we don't do that ever.
No.
Like a pop culture segment every show that we could talk about. I'm not going to bring it up this time, but I figured it'd be good, like something we all have played with before, or maybe watched before, depending on what we are talking about. Maybe a toy, maybe a food, maybe a TV show back from the days of 1980 something.
Why not 90 something?
Well, or 90 something. I guess that would work too. Way back.
Yeah. Oh, 07. Wow.
Yeah.
You got some couple of examples on here. You ought to get back to your half-ass production.
I do have to get back to half-ass productions. That was something I did for a long time. I was pretty proud of the stuff that I did do.
That's some decent content, yeah.
Yeah, and then I decided that... Well, I didn't decide anything. I just ran out of stuff to do. I didn't run out of stuff to do. I just...
You got lazy.
There you go. There's what you're going to call it.
Yeah.
So... Do you think Bauman's going to show up next week?
Well, I sure hope so. I think the show's better with 3 of us. I really do.
It gives us a little more talking over each other.
Yeah, it gives us an opportunity to have a couple more drinks without worrying about if...
Actually, we'd have less drinks, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as breaks in the middle of making sure that somebody's talking at all times.
Oh, yeah. That does help.
Yeah.
Well, let me put up the thing. So remember, every week, or we try every week, we do this little podcast called Stuck in Beta. You can check us out, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. Go to stuckinbetapodcast.com for all our
Podcast needs.
Yeah, all your information you need. All right.
Start a blog.
We do.
Yeah, and get some sponsors.
We need to do a lot of stuff, but
And just have better
why do you
content
say
over it.
I got to do it?
I did. I said we.
We. Okay. Well, you got the passwords. All right, anyway. This has been a show, and I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.
See ya.
All right, let's try that one more time.
See you next time.